presentation of HBO Sports.
In New York, where we're set to survey the league on Inside the NFL, including the 4-0 Packers, who've been led to the top of the NFC North by their record-setting quarterback. How was that?
We all want 421. Somebody got to get it.
Brett looking, drills the middle. He's got
it. And some disappointment so far this season. Who's the biggest disappointment?
Why do you have to be so negative, Alden?
That's my nature.
That's your nature. Well, I say if it's going to be negative, it's San Diego at 1-3.
Dub Bears.
Simply said.
That's all you have to say?
That's it.
The Bears.
Nobody's disappointed, though, with the Cowboys or T.O.
T.O., a happy man in Dallas. Meanwhile, Sean Payton and the Saints not so content in New Orleans, Peter.
Not the happiest guy, but one of the most accommodating guys. Let me ride with him on his way to work the day after they went 0-3, Bob. We'll get inside his head in a few minutes.
That should be good.
I think I've screwed a lot up. I mean, obviously, you know, I take responsibility for us being 0-3.
It's all ahead on Inside the NFL. From Studio A in New York with Chris Collinsworth, Dan Marino, and Chris Carter. I'm Bob Costas. Peter King will be here in a bit, and tonight's show will feature a recurring question. The question is, what's up with, and then we'll fill in the blank.
Creative.
Yeah, fascinating. Isn't it?
Did you come up with this?
No. Okay, I'm just following instructions. So let's start with one of the league's most disappointing teams. That would be the Bears.
I think
what's up with the Bears?
Normal people would say, okay, they're quarterback. But when you get off the quarterback, you start looking at everything.
Because it is the quarterback. But go ahead. Go ahead. Let's hear it.
If you look at where they were last year, of course, participated in the Super Bowl. The changes they were going to make were basically more on the offensive side of the ball.
Yes.
Through the draft, Greg Olsen, first-round pick from the Miami Hurricanes. Jarrett Ward, running back. Scat back, third-round pick. Devin Hester going to move him on offense. Going to make more explosive plays. Rex Grossman, as a starter, another year, he's going to get better.
Cedric Benson's going to be
Cedric
the starter.
Benson, Thomas Jones traded off to the Jets. All these things are going to make more explosive plays, try to create more consistency on the offense.
Or not.
Haven't been able to do any of these things. All right? Musa Muhammad, they're probably their best all-round receiver, had his best day against Detroit. He had 49 yards receiving.
That's not a good day.
The big playability's not there. They put Greasy into the lineup. Okay, we're not going to turn the ball over. He throws 2 interceptions in the red zone. So all these things they planned for this offseason are not happening. It really boils down to execution, execution, execution in Chicago.
And it's not the quarterback. All the turnovers, that's not a problem.
Say, Dan.
Yes. Yes, it is a quarterback.
What's up with the Eagles, Dan?
What's up with the Eagles? Well, you know, you look at the Eagles, and they played one good game so far. They've really struggled. And you look at 12 sacks in one game. I mean, Tom Brady will go the whole year without 12 sacks. And I think it's coaching. Andy Reid got to find a way to put McNabb in a good position to make some plays. And when you have Winston Justice, who came in at left tackle.
His back is not a good position.
A rookie. It's not a good position. And you got to give this young kid some help. Find a way to get a tight end over there, to chip somebody, and just to give him an opportunity to make plays. The other thing is maybe put him in shotgun, because his injury from his knee operation last year, I mean, that's a problem. So get him away from the line. Give him some protection. Be positive if you can be positive.
What's up with your hair?
What, something wrong with it?
No.
Okay. What's up? I got it cut. If you can be positive about it, they're in the NFC. They're 1-3, but they can turn it around.
They were also without Brian Westbrook, which took away one of their big options
a lot of guys
last week. So what's up with the Chargers, Chris?
What's up with Norv Turner? I've got to go back to coaching again. LT this past week, 116 yards at halftime, right. Turns around, barely touches the ball in the second half. And they look like a team that probably needed to play LT in the preseason. Even though it was the same style of offense, you have a new head coach, you have a new offensive and defensive coordinator. They set him out, and they look like a team just coming out of preseason. This week they get Denver, though, who's horrible trying to stop the run. So LT should run for 300 yards, I would imagine. But I think on defense, too, Randall Godfrey, Donnie Edwards, 2 tremendous playmakers at the linebacker position. They're gone. Matt Wilhelm, a guy that was supposed to take his place, injured. A lot of different things, but so far, this Chargers team...
Because of their defense, though, and they're struggling on defense, that's causing Phillip Rivers to have to make more plays, and he's not making them. He's turning it over.
He could hide behind the defense in the running game last year. Can't do it.
Chris, what about the pressure? They're not putting the pressure on the opposition like they normally would do. You have Sean Merriman. Is there a better pass rusher in the NFL than him?
And Sean Phillips, we saw him arguing with Ted Cottrell on the sideline last week. This is a team that needs a win desperately, or we could see spiraling out of control.
And there are a lot of other teams, good and bad, that you could ask that question about. What's up with whomever, and as you figured out, that's the theme of the show. So we'll get back to it in a bit. But first, you may say, Bob, what's up with the highlights? Well, we're about to start, with the Chargers. This is a fine shirt. It's a tremendous shirt. A home game against the Chiefs and a homecoming for former San Diego linebacker. I know every good boys department in America. San Diego linebacker Donnie Edwards.
Donnie Edwards began his career with the Chiefs. After spending the last 5 years with the Chargers, Edwards has returned to Kansas City.
My first 6 years, I was in Kansas City, and then the last 5 years in San Diego. You know, I started with the Chiefs, and it's very nice to go back. You know, now we're living a little metropolitan life. Got a condo now, which is really nice.
We're making great memories in Kansas City, and the experience out there is fantastic.
Last week, the couple visited its off-season home in San Diego before taking on Donnie's former team.
So good to be home.
This is our home because when we got married, this is the home that we've built, and we've been here for 6 years now, and it's so familiar, just the memories we've had here over the years. This is where my roots are. Born and raised in San Diego. You know, like they said, there's no place like home.
Looking forward to the game?
I'm looking forward to just actually being back in the queue and seeing a bunch of people I haven't seen in a long time. And
How you doing? How's it going?
I love it. He looks good and right.
They're such a great group of guys. All of them are fantastic, and individually, I want to root for all of them. Collectively, not so much.
Go Chiefs. We should, guys. Love you, Tags. Let me take a picture with him, and then make him put the Chiefs hat on. It's a statement to the jersey. It's okay.
It's real familiar, yet unfamiliar. You gotta understand, 6, 7 months ago, I was wearing my Charger uniform. It feels a little weird, but it's gonna be fun to see all the guys again.
Come on, defense.
Did his best to make his homecoming a successful one.
Absolutely, I'm invested in the game, and clearly when it's a game like this, you want to beat them. I mean, it's just natural human nature.
They fake the draw. Rivers sets up, fires it left, it's intercepted. Yes! Intercepted by Derek Johnson. Kansas City's in business.
In charge of territory.
Nice, man. Congrats, baby. You got it. Ewert pump faking. Now he looks to the middle. He's got time to throw. Corner pattern. He wants Gonzalez. Gonzalez pulls it down. Touchdown. Gonzalez has now tied for the all-time NFL touchdown receiving mark for a tight end. They got that doubt in their head right now. Trust me.
The Chargers became warranted in the second half when San Diego surrendered 24 unanswered points.
10-5 touchdown, Kansas City. Hello, Debo. Dude, money. One, let's go. We're a touchdown away. Ooh, I need this bad. Come on.
I was like, don't start cheering and don't assume that we're going to win. There's still enough time. And I get really superstitious.
Catherine used a simple hex to conjure a happy homecoming.
Knew that without a doubt that we were winning. I mean, I was just like, my heart was beating fast. I could not wait to see Donnie and see all the guys and congratulate them all. He was really excited, but in the same sense, I also think that his heart kind of goes out to them with, you know, where they're struggling, and it's bittersweet.
Miss you guys. Hey. Hey, love
No kissing lips.
Not a shot.
I got lipstick on.
In Detroit, the Lions honored their 1957 title team, their last championship squad. And while there's nothing wrong with honoring the past, sometimes success requires change. So the Bears swapped quarterbacks. Jokes is nothing new to the Lions. Still, instead of turning the other cheek, Detroit fought back. And it was Brian Greasy who cracked by throwing 3 interceptions.
Takes the snap, looks left, throw.
He wasn't the only one slipping up. Some of his teammates look like circus bears new to the act. Quarter points.
Shot, got it. It's Kevin Jones trying to get outside.
Detroit might have won easily, but Devin Hester kept Chicago in the game.
Hester going to run it out. Angling middle to the 10. Gets a block of the 15. Through a crack of the 20. He's on his way at the 30. He's got the sideline. He's by Hanson. He's got the left side. Sheds Middleton. He's going to go at the 25.
For a minute to play, Chicago tried an onside kick.
I don't think it went 10 yards. Results are the same.
There's no love lost between these bitter rivals who were playing for first place in the NFC South. Struck first.
Come on. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Tampa Bay took the opening drive 71 yards and into the end zone.
Garcia dives, touchdown Tampa Bay, Garcia.
Williams helped Jeff Garcia motor in for the score.
Cylinders has come to Carolina to play football today. It's 7-0 Bucks.
Williams' day was then ended by a devastating knee injury.
Entire team. The entire Buccaneer team is coming all the way over to the Carolina sideline. A show of camaraderie, solidarity by this Buccaneer football team.
As for the game and the season, head coach John Gruden's team continued to pound the rock and pummel the paint. It wasn't, though not for a lack of effort from Carolina quarterback David Carr. David Carr missed what few opportunities fell into their laps.
What can it be a sack? Whatever. Do something positive.
The Buccaneers positively blanketed the Panthers and put the game under wraps.
Carr lost a pass, intercepted by Phillips. It's been all Tampa Bay today.
Joe Von Hay and the Bucs are in fact rolling at 3-1, alone in first place in the NFC South. Now we're talking about some teams that are doing well, but the question remains the same. What's up with Tampa?
You know, I think that they're pretty good. I watched them on tape this week, the defensive side of the ball, and I thought the last couple of years their linebackers were really starting to slow down and show some age. But Barrett Ruud playing the middle linebacker position now looks like he's really been a force. Cato June, you remember him coming over from the Colts, can fly, one of the fastest linebackers in the league. Jermaine Phillips, now the safety, playing that John Lynch role, coming down. They've remade their defense now, and they're keeping points off the board, and now they're starting to look like Tampa Bay once again.
Well, the two of the teams we talked about before, we talked about coaching playing a key role in their demise in Philadelphia and in San Diego. For Tampa, you got to give John Gruden credit. He went out there and got Garcia this offseason, and Monty Kiffin, the way he's changed that whole defense with some older players, all right? Derek Brooks is still there, but adding younger players through the draft and through free agency. Coaching in the National Football League is very, very underrated.
All right, they're playing well, but do any of us give them a chance at Indy?
Yeah, they're not going to turn it over. You know, Jeff Garcia hasn't had an interception this year.
Indy's banged up. They do have a chance.
The other play really well on defense. They got to be able to run the football at Indy. There's no doubt to keep Peyton Manning off the field. That's going to be the key for them.
The problem, though, is going to be Donald Penn coming in at left tackle for Luke Pettigrew, and he's going to get Dwight Freeney.
And in the dome,
you think Tony and Tom Moore give him a little help?
Yeah, I hope so.
What I'm getting from this is that we think they have some kind of chance, but none of us are picking them. We're all picking the Colts. All right, what's up with 4-0 Green Bay?
Well, what's up with them is Brett Favre and their numbers throwing the football. I mean, basically what they're doing is they're committing to the passing game because they have young running backs and they've not been able to run it. And you look at their defense. Defensively, they can get in there and stop the run, play real well defensively because they got two good corners. They can shut down corners so they can play a lot of man coverage. But really, it's Brett Favre. They're throwing it all over the field. They're not been able to running it less than 20 times a game. So I think, though, later on in the year, this might catch up with them a little bit because eventually, at some point, you got to have a running game later in the year when the weather starts getting bad, guys get banged up. That might be a problem for Green Bay down the line. But right now, they're playing great because of Brett Favre.
Are they going to beat the Bears?
I think they are. You look at the Bears and the Green Bay Packers defense is stopping the run. What do the Bears want to do? They want to try to be physical. I think Green Bay could hold up at the line of scrimmage defensively on them. Then it puts it on Greasy again. Can they throw the football? I don't think they will.
All right, just for the record, I'm taking Chicago. Everyone else is sticking with the Pack. And now we go back to Week 4 to follow the Packers to Minnesota, where Brett Favre wore a wire as he looked to break Dan Marino's all-time, and he did, touchdown pass record. In case you just heard, he did.
421 coming to somebody. We all want 421. Somebody got to get it. Whoever get it.
Though his receivers had 421 on the brain, Brett Favre had other things on his mind.
I don't know why we come out so early and just stand around here and do this. What a waste. I'm sitting here just goofing off.
Favre likes to keep it light.
Oreo cookie.
Last Sunday was no exception.
Do I look like a sweater?
Not a lick. Scat, 300, double stick nod, X-Indy, silent 3.
Once the game began, Favre was all business, going right to work on the NFL record book.
Here's the snap. Brett looking, drills the middle. He's got
any other man in NFL history. Think about all the men we're talking about. Never been about numbers, and that's probably why
His record-breaking toss was the result of an adjustment he made at the line of scrimmage.
Hey, Dragon! D-Lee!
He sent tight end Donald Lee to the flat instead of up the middle, clearing a lane for Greg Jennings.
Members of the Green Bay Packers are swarming football immortality.
Congratulations, man. Thank you. I love you, bud.
I love you.
I love you, too. We ain't done yet.
we congratulate Brett Favre.
I wouldn't go back to work. Fellas, we just got to keep playing. I don't know what else to say.
In the fourth quarter, Favre struck again.
Favre fakes the handoff to Ryan Grant. Pump fake. Now throws the right side. Yeah! What a beautiful throw. Fans here, and now they're raising a sign 4-22. And Favre with a big smile on his face on the sidelines. Put her in the old mice. Put her in the old mice. What the hell were y'all worried about? Hey, good job. Cliffy, you too. Way to overcome your coaching. We do what we can. Here is a beautiful thing. I've been here a lot of times.
Another day, another milestone for Brett Favre as the Packers move to 4-0.
Great job. That's a fast start. 4-0. Got a special game ball here. Brett Favre. I love playing on this team so much. I do. And let's keep this going. Let's go. 4-0.
For the second straight week, Arizona employed a two-quarterback system. Number 13, Kurt Warner, and number 7, Matt Leinart split time as the Cardinals' offense worked out the kinks. There's no question who Pittsburgh's starting quarterback is. Ben Roethlisberger gave the Steelers a 7-0 lead. For Ken Whisenhunt, a loss against his former team was not in the cards, thanks to his pair of quarterbacks and an ace play from his special team.
Right 30 up the middle, 35 to the 40 to the
21-7, Roethlisberger and Santonio Holmes connected again, but their attempted comeback was trumped by Arizona's defense.
batted around, picked off by Ralph Brown. Game over.
Whisenhunt now has as many victories as quarterbacks and says he's happy with whatever system it takes to win.
Nice win for Ken Whisenhunt and company in Arizona. 2-2 now with 2 quarterbacks.
Yes.
Let's talk about that quarterback platoon. Can it be sustained, and can a team be successful in the long run?
I think they can be, but you're going to want one guy, eventually settle on one guy. And, you know, Matt Leinart he's not lighting it up. I mean, it's not like he's setting the world on fire. So I think Ken Whisenhunt figured, listen, I got to motivate this guy some. You got a veteran guy, and Kurt Warner can come in and be successful. And you look at their team, they're getting better in all other areas. So I think it's just light a fire under the guys, show them that, you know, you got to step up your game to a certain level if we're going to try to be, you know, a division winner this year. You know, the other thing is I think it showed confidence, though, in him, too. When they brought him back later in the game, they brought him in there, and he threw a pass down the field. They scored, you know, the winning touchdown. So it did show some confidence. But eventually they got to decide who they're going to play.
All right, let's say this, though.
Go ahead.
Kurt Warner is completing 70% of his passes.
Sure.
He's thrown over 100 balls without an interception.
Sure.
Has 4 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions.
So
He's been carrying his
maybe they should
football
just
team.
play Kurt Warner then, you know?
And Matt Leinert's complaining about not playing enough.
I'm not saying
Give
complaining.
me a break. Let me just give a bit of advice to Matt Leinart. Shut up. That's the bottom line. You are taking a football team that is coming off one of its biggest wins in a long time. The entire city is excited, and you're whining about your own playing time? Give me a break.
And let me tell you something else about the other guy, all right? Some guys say and try, at least for the cameras, to do all the right things. Kurt Warner is one of the most sincere guys I have ever come across. He was at the top of the heap for a long time, and when things went bad, he didn't moan and complain, and he always supported the other guy. And you see him on the sideline with Leinart, talking to him, trying to buck him up. You know, this guy, Warner, is everything you want a teammate to be.
Right. They have a lot
Leinart is the future of the franchise of quarterback.
No
they got a lot of money invested
Warner
in
understands that, too.
He knows
They have a lot of ingredients to make this work. For one, they have a new coach who's trying to change the culture. And you know Ken from interviewing him at Pittsburgh Steelers.
Man.
He's going to go with whoever's going to make the plays for him to win. And they need that for that team to change and keep that winning attitude. Number 2, all right, they have a veteran in Kurt Warner who has the disposition at this point in his career to be able to make it work. The thing that is the firebomb for this is Matt Leinart's personality. And as a young player, I don't know if you're talking as a broadcaster or if you're talking as a player. Because me as a player, I understand Matt Leinart and what he's saying. As a broadcaster and trying to win games as a team, Matt Leinart played for 2 national championships and won the Heisman Trophy. Them talking about being 2-2. He's not overly excited about that.
But the other areas of this team is going to help them get through this year, and they're going to be a very good football team.
Just throw it to my boy Fitzgerald.
Right.
Just throw it to Fitzy,
This will help Matt Leinart in the long run.
When Warner goes to St. Louis this weekend, he's going to hear a lot of cheers from his old hometown fans. All right, we spent the show breaking down surprises, pleasant and disappointing. We turn back to the latter now, and the 0-3 New Orleans Saints. Coach Sean Payton shocked everybody when he led his team to the NFC Championship game last season. But everything that went right then is going wrong now. Last week, Peter King visited with the coach the day after his team fell to the Titans.
Nothing is working right now for the Saints. I mean nothing.
And boy, how grim things look.
As if dropping to 0-3, losing running back Deuce McAllister to a season-ending injury, and seeing the massive disappointment on the faces of Saints fans wasn't enough for New Orleans coach Sean Payton. The next morning, he also had to contend with me, coming along on his commute to the office. Different place last night, hearing the place boo, but I guess you can't blame him if you've been playing the way you guys have.
You know, there's a period of time there where you don't hear it at all, but you know that it's certainly not cheers.
There's so little to be positive about. I mean, it looks like your offensive line's a sieve. You know, Breeze is turning the ball over because he's running for his life. It seems like such a polar opposite of last year.
Well, we've got to find a way to make corrections. The bulk of this ride is spent thinking about the right decisions.
When you go to coaching school, do they teach you how to go from coach of the year one year to being 0-3 the first 3 games the next year and how to handle it?
I think you learn this on the run. We start the corrections today.
In the face of some significant challenges ahead, Patrick Sean Payton would be wise to send up a prayer to Father Patrick Payton. The Saints coach was named after a Catholic priest who traveled the globe on a rosary crusade. The younger Payton's gridiron crusade began in the suburbs of Chicago as a quarterback. He became an All-American at Eastern Illinois before he embarked on a mission for playing time at the next level.
My first year out was '87, and I had a tryout with the Chiefs in the spring and then came back and started playing in that Arena Football League. It was the very first year.
Where'd you play?
Chicago Bruisers for 3 weeks, and then I got picked up by the Ottawa Rough Riders in the CFL, and then was waived at the end of July, then signed on with Chicago. That was all of about 3 weeks.
During the 1987 NFL Players' Strike, Payton's hometown team, the Bears, needed a second-string quarterback, and Payton crossed the picket line to become a spare Bear. Any reverberations to this day about being a strike player?
No, not at all. For the most part, it was trying to impress somebody to get on a roster and trying to make it as a player.
You were 8 out of 23. That's your career NFL passing line.
It was bad.
After you leave the Bears, though, you go to England for a year. How did that happen?
A guy had called about needing a quarterback over in London, so this was kind of the last hurrah. While I was over there, I began writing and contacting colleges, trying to secure a coaching position.
San Diego State gave him his start as a grad assistant, and over the next 2 decades, Payton went wherever the job was. In 1997, John Gruden hired him to work with the Eagles quarterbacks. Within 2 years, he moved to the Giants and eventually became Jim Fossil's offensive coordinator. In 2003, Bill Parcells made him assistant head coach in Dallas. Payton was a hot coaching prospect and wasn't afraid to say no when the Saints needed a head coach in 2006. Everybody looked at this job as a total graveyard job. And were you really excited about taking this job?
There were a lot of questions, coming after Katrina and, your ability to put a staff together and bring free agents to this region. Those were all concerns. Jerry Jones said to me right after I'd interviewed that, sometimes when you find that opportunity or that challenge that has nowhere to go but up, you can gain some of your greatest accomplishments.
40 years of football, New Orleans Saints have never been to an NFC championship game. We're going to one.
The 2006 season was full of accomplishments, more than anyone had hoped for. But like his mentors, Payton's a fan of motivational gimmicks. This year during training camp, he staged a mock funeral to bury the success of 2006 and begin the 2007 season anew.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. 06-07 is no longer with us. Amen.
You know, I thought it was necessary. You spent a whole off season in this area where people are so excited about not only the team being back, but having some success, and it was more symbolic of making sure our players understood, hey, we're starting again.
Are you tempted now to maybe unearth the casket with all those accomplishments in it? Or did you do the right thing in doing that?
We've moved on. But, I mean, right now, no one cares about that story. Right now, people care about this 07 season.
There's a spot on the bridge that you drive every day. You can't see land in front of you. You can't see land behind you. Is that kind of a metaphor for where you are right now?
You know, it might be. I think it's important, though, to have a vision of what you think's ahead. You know, although you're not seeing anything, I think that vision needs to be Carolina, and, you know, that's our next opportunity. So let's get this thing going.
Well, Peter, Sean Payton sitting at 0-3, but certainly not out of motivational ploys, apparently.
He's always been Mr. Motivation, Bob, and he started to do another one this week with the whole talk of nobody's on the Saints bandwagon anymore. He actually put a huge wagon in the corner of the practice field on Monday when the team came back to practice, put a bunch of empty chairs there and said, see, nobody's on your bandwagon now. It's only us, so you've got to do it. But I'll say this, of all the ploys he can pull, nothing is going to work unless Reggie Bush works. And he's going to get 23, 25, 27 touches now a day, okay, until next year probably, because he is going to be the guy without Deuce McAllister. In terms of rushing, receiving, and occasional returns, he's going to touch the ball 23, 25 times. If he isn't good, all the motivational tricks that Sean Payton can pull will not mean a thing, Bob.
All right, speaking of bandwagons, a lot of people jumping off the Charger bandwagon, and now we hear some rumblings coming out of Southern California about the USC coach, Pete Carroll.
It's just not a good match, Bob, I think, because of two reasons. Number one, the San Diego Chargers have never been overly generous in paying their coaches. You know, Pete Carroll, if he leaves USC, is going to have to make a mountain of money, $7, $8, $9 million a year. And if that happens, he's going to want full control. Dean Spanos, the president of the Chargers, does not want to give a coach full control. He doesn't want to give anybody in his organization full control after what he views as a mistake toward the end of the Bobby Beathard reign in giving him the total control of the team. Two other quick notes, Bob. Number one, the St. Louis Rams. They are going to bench Mark Bulger, their former Pro Bowl starter, because he's got 2 broken ribs, giving the job to Gus Frerotte, maybe only for a week. But Scott Linehan, the coach of the Rams, says, look, we're not going to put Bulger back in harm's way until we feel he's healthy enough to play. Another injury story with the quarterback Alex Smith in San Francisco as we tape on Wednesday. Rumblings that he may have a very serious shoulder injury, may require immediate season-ending surgery. He doesn't think so. The 49ers don't think so. And we'll see what James Andrews, the noted orthopedist, thinks when he looks at his MRI. But as of now, it looks like he's going to miss maybe 2 weeks. He is bound and determined, Alex Smith is, to play October 21st against the New York Giants at the Meadowlands.
The backup, be it short-term or long, is Trent Dilfer.
You know, a good backup if you're going to have to play one, but still, they're not going to make the playoffs with Trent Dilfer playing quarterback.
Okay, Peter. Peter mentioned that Reggie Bush is going to get a lot more touches the rest of the season for the Saints. And for more on the former Heisman winner, let's go back over to the guys. Chris.
All right, Bob. We are going to have a Reggie Bush debate here. Now, we deal in whispers a little bit. And there have been whispers that maybe Reggie Bush doesn't really frighten defensive coordinators the way that we thought maybe he would coming out of college. Are you buying into that? Is the toughness an issue? Is he as fast as everybody thought he was? Is he dancing in the hole too much? Your opinion of Reggie Bush?
Well, for one, as far as the defensive coordinators, we haven't seen enough of him because he was a backup player. And there's no defensive coordinator in the league that wants to be run on. So he would much rather face someone like Reggie than Deuce, which we know they're going to pound the football. But does he frighten me as a coordinator? I'd be frightened because he can score. He's one of the few players in the league that wherever he touches the ball on the field, he can score.
frighten you without Deuce McAllister?
That's the problem.
If he lines up at tailback, does he frighten you now?
He's still a frightening player because now you have to account for him more times. He's going to have more touches of the football.
But, you know, we're going to see, is he going to be able to run the ball as well as he did at USC in between the tackles?
No.
I mean,
In
between the tackles. That's what I'm saying, because that's what the Saints are going to be asking him to do at times, because Deuce, when Reggie was getting big plays, you know, they move him around, they throw the ball. He had 88 catches last year. I mean, that's an awful lot of catches for a rookie back in the league. So we're going to see this week if he's going to get the ball 25, 30 times. Can he do it in between the tackles?
And let's face it, at USC, even if he ran between the tackles, there are holes.
Yeah,
USC is better than everybody that they're playing. The other thing is, in college football, you play on those wide hash marks. So when you get a pitch, you have a lot more field to work with out there. But I watched the tape on the Saints this week when they played Tennessee. Their offensive line got crushed.
Yes.
They got crushed. I'm telling you, Albert Haynesworth and Kyle Vanden Bosch destroyed that offensive line. So they were not going to run the football. But probably the bigger thing is that Drew Brees, who did such a great job getting back there and getting the ball out, is a little unsettled
Skittish
back
now.
there.
Is it
Yeah,
called
and he
skittish?
should be, because they're not getting anybody
And listen,
blocked.
and if you're a quarterback in this league, I don't care who you are, if you're not going to get a running game and you get people in your face, you're going to struggle. You know, so that's going to be a part of the whole scheme with Sean Payton. You got to get those offensive linemen going where he gets time, and it may open up the running game.
Bottom line, is Reggie Bush overrated?
Absolutely not. I would love to have Reggie Bush on my team. You guys say the hash mark in college. You guys talk about running between the tackles. What difference does it make?
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
I didn't say the
He
hash
said
mark.
hash mark.
I
You
said it's
between the
question mark in between the tackles. Now, he can play on my team anytime. Because I'll tell you what, I would get him the ball.
Okay, but what difference
You got to
does
get
it
it
make?
to him in space. That's what people say, in space.
What difference does it make no matter where he runs?
We've been in space on this show forever. Go ahead.
Well, he's the astronaut
There's gonna
right
be some
there.
space upside your head if you keep interrupting me. Reggie Bush is a superstar.
He loves when I interrupt him.
There we go.
Keep it up, you'll be flying home by yourself
That's
tonight.
another lovely discussion. That'll break his heart.
I'll
I
take
guarantee.
Reggie Bush anytime.
All right, back to the highlights. Let's go to the Broncos in Indy, where we saw Reggie Wayne and the Colts challenge the Broncos.
Feel it today. I need a lot of them. Focus. Lance focus, too. I need a lot of them today.
Broncos knew they were going to need a lot of points to defeat the defending champs on the road. Led by number 20, Travis Henry, the Broncos rushed for 160 first-half yards and seemed up to the challenge.
Takes a snap, rolls to his right, pass throws, end zone, touchdown, Brandon Marshall. We're off to a great start. It's 10-0 Broncos.
Two finesse, we tough.
The Colts defense showed they were just as tough as Denver. Facing one of the best cornerback tandems in the NFL, the Colts chose to attack the Broncos' injury-riddled defensive line with number 29, Joseph Adai.
Side and Adai running hard, breaks a tackle at the 2. He's to
of a pretty soft defensive alignment by Denver. He ran through about 3 or 4 different tackles, powered right into the end zone.
You know what they're doing now. We're going to play the second half much better than we played that first half because we're going to feel for what they did.
They're going to keep trying to run the ball because they figure, okay, well, we can't do anything too much with the pass right now. So they have to run the ball.
Denver guessed run and tight end Dallas Clark made them pay dearly.
He fakes to Kenton Keith. He throws another deep one. Clark is there. Dallas has it at the 30, down to the 26. Here come the Broncos on a blitz. Payton stays in, rolls to the right side, throws the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Dallas!
Finished with 6 catches, including 2 touchdowns. Despite losing Marvin Harrison to a knee injury, the Colts offense controlled the second half. In September, for the 3rd straight year, Indianapolis tied a franchise record with its 11th straight home victory.
It's like we said, you need 53 guys. That's great work. We've got one more piece of business now before we take our bye. That's next week. We're playing a hot team. We got to come back and get ready to go, put the hammer down one more week, and then we'll get some time off. But enjoy this one. A good win for us. We're 4-0, finished out the first quarter right, finished out September right. We'll get October off to a good start next week.
For years, the Browns have been chewed up in the AFC North, but this season they are beginning to show their fangs.
First down, drops to throw again. He's back, he's firing to the middle, it's intercepted, they got it! Lee Bodden picked it off!
Offense, Cleveland unleashed a 3-headed monster of Jamal Lewis, Kellen Winslow, and Braylon Edwards. Against his former team, Lewis did his talking on the field. while Winslow and Edwards combined for over 190 yards receiving and a touchdown. The trio helped give the Browns their second straight division win.
First down, play action, drops back, down the middle of the field. Edwards wide open, got it, on the run. 10-5, touchdown, 78 yards on one play.
Patriots have started the 2007 season in a groove, dominant in every facet of the game. Nothing changed against the Bengals. Sammy Morris's 49-yard run set up linebacker Mike Vrabel's 9th touchdown catch as a Patriot.
He has not had a reception that has not resulted in a touchdown.
New England's offense made everything look easy. Wes Welker's 27-yard reverse led to Morris's 3rd touchdown of the season.
Cuts left, he's in, touchdown. Sammy Morris goes in from 7 yards out. Beautiful piece of running by Sammy Morris.
Bengals defensive backs couldn't find any peace thanks to Tom Brady and Randy Moss. Patriots are the first team since the 1920 Buffalo All-Americans to win each of their first 4 games by more than 20 points.
Tom Brady and the Patriots dominating everyone, and I'm dominating you two knuckleheads because I'm hosting the tee-off segment.
Well.
You guys ready?
Roll reversal. Fire away.
Little hometown, little spin on this one. All right, first of all, has Marvin Lewis, I know you already looked at the cards. I know that. All right? You don't be like him. Has Marvin Lewis lost control of that locker room in Cincinnati?
No. I don't think he's lost control, but it's a completely different team. I mean, they're not good. They could play the Patriots 20 times and never beat them. The Patriots are that much better a team. The Bengals have both their offensive tackles, those great tackles. They're not there anymore. Chris Henry, who is a really vital cog in the offense, he's not there. Their linebackers are all banged up. It didn't matter. The Patriots are here and the Bengals are here.
So you're not concerned about Chad Johnson and Carson Palmer going into the locker room at halftime?
No, thank goodness. I love seeing Carson Palmer finally taking control of that offense. That's what he should do.
They've lost 11 of their last 17 games, I think, dating back to almost exactly a year ago. T.J. Houshmandzadeh says, look, the reason why the Patriots play together as a team is because they win. If we start winning, then we'll act more like teammates. There's maybe a chicken and egg deal, but I got a feeling that maybe part of the reason why the Patriots play so well is because they do have a team-first attitude that permeates the whole roster.
No, they have the best players.
That helps,
Putting
obviously.
Dallas Thomas and Wes Welker.
Question number 2.
Randy Moss, it's not fair.
Back to you, Mr. Collins.
Yes.
What will St. Louis fans be thinking this weekend watching Kurt Warner in the Arizona Cardinals uniform?
He will get a rousing ovation, all right? And, of course, it's juxtaposed against the fact that Bolger, who was a Pro Bowl replacement for him, is now out, and Gus Frerotte is going to start, and the team is 0-4, and what once was the greatest show on turf has generated 2 offensive touchdowns in 4 games and hasn't scored in something like 30 or 31 consecutive possessions. Even though it didn't last long enough probably to get him to the Hall of Fame, Kurt Warner had a 3-year run as their starting quarterback that's about as good statistically as any 3-year run anybody has ever had at the position in the history of the league, and they love him there. They love him.
The Rams and Cardinals fans will be thinking the exact same thing. Why isn't Kurt Warner starting for us? It's exactly what they'll both be thinking. Why did he get out of here, and why isn't he starting in Arizona?
Okay, question number 3. Are the Dallas Cowboys better without Bill Parcells?
Ooh, well, you'd have to say based on the record right now, they are. You know, when Bill Parcells ran the Dallas Cowboys, you would go to their practice, and it was scary. I mean, nobody was saying a word. Coaches were afraid to talk to anybody that was remotely associated with the media. They would run away from you, literally, and there was like a hush over the practice. I've never been to an NFL practice that was as strange as that situation in Dallas. And now you bring in Wade Phillips.
Nick Saban in Miami.
Is that what it was like?
Yes.
Now you bring in Wade Phillips, and it looks like they're having fun again.
You know, there may have been one too many dynamic, bigger-than-life personalities there. Romo's a big personality. Endearing, doesn't rub anybody the wrong way, but a big personality. T.O. is T.O., and the owner, Jerry Jones, is a huge personality. Right. So, too, is Parcells. Maybe it was better to change things a little bit, and the new offensive coordinator, Jason Garrett, doesn't hurt either.
Right. Last question coming to you, Bob. Is it time for the Baltimore to bench McNair?
I have a lot of respect for McNair. He's turning the ball over. He has 4 lost fumbles in addition to a couple of picks. And Bowler, though he's been in there less of the time, has a higher completion percentage.
Do we make a change?
I think maybe you do. Yeah, I think you do.
Chris?
I don't think so. He's got the bad groin, and what we're seeing is, especially in the red zone, he's overthrowing. And I think as you step with that groin, it makes you drop your elbow and throw high. He's throwing high. He's missing throws. We don't see him miss.
Well, therefore, at least for the time being.
Well, you could play him a little bit, but McNair is better
play him
than
a little
Buller.
bit.
McNair is better than
Should he
Buller
be
long
in
run.
there?
Yes, McNair should
Baltimore's
be in there.
going anywhere with
Their
Steve
defense
McNair?
is the problem now. I mean, their defense right now has been the difference. Trevor Price isn't there. Dallas Thomas isn't there. They're not closing games they used to close.
Thank you, guys. Greatly appreciate it.
thank you.
Back to the highlights in Dallas. T.O. mic'd up. Wow, against the Rams. Think he's going to say something?
Doubt it.
If I don't do nothing else, I'm a ball. The sky is the limit. Can't wait. Yeah, y'all check me out. I look good, dressed sweet. Jerry Rice taught me about looking sweet. I'm dressed sweet, too.
For the Cowboys and seasoned wide receiver Terrell Owens, the first quarter was more sour than sweet.
Deep down the left side for Owens, over the top, intercepted.
Come on, King. I don't know what I was thinking on that 7.99. As a matter of fact.
Eventually, Dallas deciphered the Rams' defense. Tied at 7 in the second quarter, second-year starter Tony Romo proved he isn't in over his head by making plays with his feet.
Romo runs it down at the 25 and kicks it. Picks it up and runs left. At the 20, Romo trying to pull McNabb. Gets away from one man. Left to the foot.
Dallas's love affair with Romo continued as he finished what he started.
And you know what, young fella? You earned that one.
You see the fumble that, right? Yeah, I was watching. That's going to be on bloopers. Yeah, I thought you were just going to fall on it or something. Then you picked it up, and then go, whoop, 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 whoop. Can I get a little piece of the action? It ain't over here. Okay, that's all I was.
A block from Owens at the 2, and Creighton is in for the touchdown.
That just shows you how fast Terrell Owens is, because Creighton is trying to get in the end zone. He wants that touchdown, and Owens just shoots by him.
When Pat caught that ball, I took off. That ain't gonna catch me. T.O. caught it. Sometimes I like being a decoy. When I go to Hawaii, I'm gonna get in that fastest man contest.
Once again, the Cowboys' offense looked unstoppable. In the third quarter, it reeled off 3 unanswered touchdowns in 11 plays. Dallas's 4-0 start is the first since Big B's last Super Bowl season over a decade ago.
What? Test him on Monday for him to guarantee a win like that. What was he thinking? Hey, you can get this jersey right here in the pro shop. In the pro shop.
I want to get your jersey, baby. What I want to do.
Okay, what you need? I give you this one.
I'm gonna frame it up.
Okay, I give you this one.
A number 81 jersey may be fashionable, but even T.O. knows a world championship ring never goes out of style.
I'm trying to give me one of them things like y'all got.
Yeah. Stay healthy.
Yeah, we do that.
Right on.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
In Miami, pregame lightning delayed the kickoff and running back Ronnie Brown's thunder. Blue came from Raider backup Justin Fargas, who rolled up 175 rushing yards. Finn Dante Culpepper didn't light up the sky, but did show flashes of brilliance, throwing 2 touchdowns and running for 3 more.
Culpepper play action, going to roll and run for the end zone. He's got the corner. The hat trick for Dante. Touchdown, Raiders.
Culpepper's knee looks just fine, but at 0-4, it's the Dolphins who are out of joint.
So in the AFC West, Oakland, Denver, and Kansas City are now all 2-2. That's good for a share of the lead. The Chargers, despite all their woes, a game back at 1-3. Big division game this week. Chargers visiting the Broncos.
Wow. You're talking about a make or break game early in the season for a team. In San Diego, traveling, Denver, always through history has been a tough place to play. LaDainian Tomlinson, you listen to him, he said, we're tired of all the talking. We're tired of saying what we should be doing. It's time to get it done on the field. But I tell you one person, a lot of people in San Diego you have to be talking about is Ted Cottrell. Defensively, can he come up with the scheme? Because offensively right now, they don't have the firepower to make too many turnovers, make too many mistakes. Defensively, can they come up with turnovers, put that offense on the short field? So for me, Ted Cottrell and that defense is really under the gun.
And can they?
I think they can.
You're
I think they
the
really
Chargers.
can. I'm taking
so
the Chargers.
too are the other Chris and me, but Dan likes the Broncos. All right, NFC South matchup. The Panthers and the Saints.
Well, the Saints' defense is getting exposed this year because their offense can't control the ball the way that they did a year ago. But I think Carolina's defense is getting exposed right now, too, because when Dan Morgan doesn't play at the middle linebacker position, they simply are not the same football team at all. I think the Saints, after the bye week, come back, finally get it going.
Again, Dan Marino is going to stand alone on this one. He likes the Panthers. Everybody else says the Saints get their first win. All right, here is a rematch of Super Bowl 40, but not being played in Detroit. This time, the Seahawks go against the Steelers in Pittsburgh.
And the Seahawks are looking good defensively. They got a lot better in the secondary. Julian Peterson is getting after the quarterback. They're rushing the passer. But I think in Pittsburgh, what they need to do, they need to get back to playing, Steeler football, and that's running the ball with Willie Parker. He was leading the league in rushing in between the tackles.
Stuffed last week.
Yes, he got stuffed last week. They need to be more physical and take a little pressure off their defense.
And do they win it?
Yes,
they
I
being
like
the
Pittsburgh.
Steelers?
I like Pittsburgh.
Dan likes the Steelers. So too do the two Chris's, but I'm favoring the Seahawks. And you can check out the rest of our picks at hbo.com/INFL to play Beat the Hosts and see how you fare against us. Just one thing left, and it's Say Something, beginning with you, Chris.
Well, I have to be the first person to apologize because I was very, very skeptical of Lane Kiffin when Al Davis made him the head coach. I thought, for one, too young coaching in pro football, and we've seen very successful college coaches, head coaches, come to the National Football League and really struggle. But I like what he's doing. In 4 games this year, late in the fourth quarter or into the fourth quarter, his Raiders were ahead in the game. Now they're 2-2 now, but with 9 minutes to go, they had scored points to go ahead in all those games. So I like what he's doing. I have zero confidence Al Davis.
Would that be zero?
Zero.
Yeah.
But Lane Kiffin, I like what he's doing in Oakland.
All right. Al Davis probably recalling that he hired John Madden when he was just, 32 years old or something.
What's wrong with your hair?
Nothing's wrong with it. I just got it cut.
Okay. Tell us what you were really thinking.
Say
I want to know
Dan.
what you were really thinking when Brett Favre completed that pass. That's what I want your say something to be. Really,
It's just, you know what, it's a little bit,
thinking.
that's not my say something, but, you something that you achieved in your career that no one else had done in the history of football when you look at it, and then it's a little disappointing.
You're like,
a little disappointing.
Peyton
Manning, that guy. How did you not cover that
I know. I love
First
Brett,
Peyton Manning
but I
on the
could have
single
thrown that
season.
no problem with the blitz, the guy playing outside taking.
Now we get some of the bitterness we love on this show. There you go.
No, here's my say something real quick. Is good getting gooder or greater? Is that proper English? No. New England Patriots.
But don't let
as
that
good
get
as
you
I know, as good as they are, now the good are getting gooder with Richard Seymour and the defensive back. What's his name?
Rodney Harrison.
Rodney Harrison
coming
from the
back.
HGH suspension.
Yeah, that's saying something.
It's better to be good and get gooder than to be worse and get worser.
That's true.
Yeah.
You want me to do something now? Following that?
It's my turn. All right, here we go. A week from Sunday, New England is at Dallas in what could be one of the great regular season games in recent history. New England has an improving Cleveland team first, but they're likely to win. Dallas plays on Monday night at Buffalo. The Bills plan to wear 1965 throwback uniforms. But unless Jack Kemp, Cookie Gilchrist, and Elbert Golden Wheel Dubanian are in those uniforms, they got no chance. I'm looking at undefeated Patriots at undefeated Cowboys in a terrific game on October 14th. You finish.
All right.
for now.
Why in a league where everything is supposed to be so formalized do we penalize players for celebrating with a teammate and force them to essentially stiff-arm their teammates that want to come up to celebrate with them to do some crazy dance on their own?
What was that?
Why is that? Why would the NFL do it?
That's against the...
right there.
Goodness.
Come on, give me a little bit, Chris Carter. Come on, baby.
Really.
Show it up this time.
This is where I feel compelled to say good night from New York.
Let's do it now. Do it now.
It's 1-3. It's not
good night from New York.
You may not know me, but I am a champion. Undefeated. The best in the world. I worked for this fight my whole life. To be recognized. And now, there's only one left. Where I'm from, your actions define you.
Thumping right hand.
And this night will be my defining moment. I am Mikkel Kessler. I am Joe Calzaghe. And boxing is my life.